How do you run a successful real estate management company? These real estate investors did not know how. They didn't even want to. They wanted to keep on investing in real estate because that's what they love, but investments don't qualify for an E-2 business. The only way to convert the real estate investment into an E-2 visa was through a real estate management business. Hi everyone, my name is Joseph. I'm the managing partner here at Tsang and Associates, where we solve legal problems with creative solutions. So the legal problem is that they just invest in properties and then they collect rent. That's not really much of a business. They don't even really have an office. So that doesn't qualify for an E-2 business for a lot of reasons. The cash flow is really small because it's just the rental income. It's not even sufficient to cover their own salaries, let alone employee salaries. So how do we convert these investments into a real estate management company? The first idea is we needed to increase the revenue, because with the increase in revenue, then you can hire employees, you can pay salary, then it looks like a fully operating business. Then how do you increase the revenue? To them, increasing the revenue means only increasing the rent. And if you can't just increase the rent willy-nilly, you might get sued, people might leave, you might lose out on profits, and you might be locked in a contract, so you can't just increase revenue. In order to increase the revenue, it was the hardest thing. But we came up with an idea. Their friends and family, they all have a lot of investments. Somebody has a couple apartments there. Somebody has a business building over here. Everybody has something, and everybody kind of manages it on their own, just like our clients were doing themselves. Everything is all separate, and everything is their own investments, and everything is very closed. And nobody wants to hire a full-time staff. So what if everybody was able to pool their portfolios together and then hire a few full-time employees to manage everything? But then we face the second major problem, which is if you do this, the liability is extremely high. A small team of people can't fix everything. Who's going to take priority? There's just too many problems. We actually had to confront another legal problem, which is how to run a successful real estate management business where the tenants have the least complaints and least requests and with the highest revenue. What's that golden ratio balance, right? Because if you could find that, then it's golden. Then the revenue will pour in, they can hire the least amount of staff, and then that will qualify for an E-2 visa. But how do you do that? My business team and myself went to the drawing board and really thought through the entire industry, and we came up with this solution. Every year, rent prices increase, 3%, 5%, sometimes more if they move out. That's pretty expensive. Does the owner get to keep all of it? Most of the time, no, because when tenants have to pay more, they start to demand more, especially right when they renew the lease when they had to pay the higher rent. So the owners don't really get to keep the money, but they just still have to pay. Of course, owners have to raise the rent because that's the only way to really raise the value of the property so that they can get the money out from the mortgage, etc., etc. But it's this game that everybody plays, and it's really disheartening for the renters as well as for the owners. So what if we change the system a little bit? You still raise the rent, but instead of the rent going to the owner and then the owner paying to the handyman to fix the certain thing, instead, what if that increased rent goes into an escrow account? The escrow account belongs to the tenant, just like the security deposit. That will incentivize the renters to take better care of their surroundings so that when they move out, well, there's less things to fix, there's less complaints, and if there's something that's broken, well, they're not gonna try to fix it 3 times. They're gonna fix it themselves, maybe. And then there's gonna be less demand for handyman or anything to come out. And then when they do move out, one big inspection, fix everything, and in the end, one big lump sum will go back to the renter for their next deposit. It's actually a genius solution for this real estate management business. The owners themselves, they get a little bit less cash flow, but to them, it doesn't really matter because they would have lost it anyways. But it's a lot less work. They have to hire less people. Everything is much more consistent. Doing it this way, real estate investment becomes much more like getting dividends from stocks. So it's a lot more passive income and you don't have to hire that many employees. From doing this case, obviously the E-2 was successful, but this idea was so successful, they continue to expand from SoCal now to NorCal, and they keep on expanding their empire. And this plan is working so well that a lot of the renters are choosing not to move out. They're able to just continue to stay year over year. And it's already been like over 4 years. The hardest part about doing this E-2 case wasn't the investment, it was really the business plan itself and convincing the officer that this will work. Because There was no proof of concept. Other people don't do it this way. These are one of the few people that they're trying it out. This is actually what I think the E-2 is meant for people to experiment with different types of investments. Other people don't do it, but they have done it and now they're successful. And who knows, maybe the industry will eventually copy. I know I would be a lot happier renting if I knew that the rate increases were going into my own private savings account. Maybe a version of this is the solution to affordable housing. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Would love to talk to you. Take care. Bye-bye.